But thank you very much for joining me this evening, and maybe missing out on the trick-or-treating or the block, as I said. For those who are fans of the block, they're the ones that haven't made it on tonight. What we're going to be looking at, and I've got a lot of information. There is, you will need a pen and paper, and you'll be taking notes all the way through, or I am quite happy if you take a shot of the screen, because there's a fair bit of information on some of the pages. But we're going to look at the 5 key strategies to build your personal brand, which means that when you do that, you will engage more clients and make more sales. This is all being recorded at the moment. What I'd love you to be able to do is, I guarantee you're going to have questions. As we go through, write them down, and then at the end, save them up. If you don't write them down, you'll forget what the questions are, if you're like me, and you go, I knew I was going to ask a very good question. I can't remember what that is. So please write them down. What I'll also get you to do is ask you to participate on the way through and comment into the chat box. All right, so if you've spent a lot of time and money on website advertising, but still not seeing the results, I know a lot of people, when they first go into business, the website is the thing that they need to get up and running, and they think it's sort of the most important thing. And they spend a lot of money on that without seeing a lot of results. Let me know if you can relate to any of these as we go through. Or the second one, you doubt your abilities, and you often avoid putting yourself that front and center, because you're thinking, what if I forget what I'm going to say? What if people aren't interested in what I'm going to say? And so you tend to pull back a little bit. So if you can relate to that, this will be really useful staying on the webinar. You've sometimes failed to get your message across, not clearly being able to define what you do, who you can help, why you do what you do, and build that connection with people. You set goals, but you get very distracted and you don't stay on track because life gets in the way. I was working with a client today. We were talking about that, and it's, you know, that little squirrel that runs past and go, oh, I'm distracted now, and onto something else. Or different things keep popping up all the time, and just not staying on track and going, this is what I need to be doing. Or you don't invest enough time in you. And that's part of what we need to do in business, that we look after ourselves, because if we don't look after ourselves, then we are really going to, everything else becomes very stressful, and we're not going to succeed in business. So if you can relate to any of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, can you pop that in the chat? So the more you participate, the more interesting it will make it. And if you can do that, that would be great. Any of those things resonate with you, it helps me to know what I need to focus on when I'm going through this. Okay, that would be appreciated. What is brand authority? It's sort of popping up everywhere. I'm working with a couple of friends at the moment. We're forming a retreat. One is a photographer who does brand authority. One is a stylist who does brand authority. And I also work with some people that do a lot of social media, and that's part of brand authority. It's a whole lot of things, and you'll learn what part I do very, very shortly. It's about building trust that has been earned. So it's the customer's idea of what trust or brand authority is, more so than what it is yourself. And it's a degree that they see you as an expert in that subject matter. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. How can you be seen as an expert in your field? And then you'll be able to stand out. Why is brand authority so important? It's been around forever. And you just think back that I heard someone say the other day, they were listening to someone talking about sales, and the salesperson said, it's not about who people know, who they like, and who they trust. We've heard that over and over again, but of course it is. We're going to deal with people we know. 1, we find them. 2, that we actually like what they do, and we trust them to deliver the message, trust them to deliver the product or the service that they said they were going to deliver. So it is all about know, like, and trust, and it's everyone. Everyone in any form of business, professionals in your own business, definitely need to have brand authority. Absolutely. You need to be able to stand out, and no one is exempt. Depending on whether a client goes to you or to somebody else is dependent on how well you stand out. Oh, by the way, I did say I was going to offer a copy of my book, and for those that stay on to the end, I will definitely send you a copy. I know there's some people online that have got one of my books, and I'll send the other one, or I'll talk about it when we get to the end. So remember to do that, because that's why I need to check in as to who is here and who's not here. The brand authority is a very useful way of drowning out everybody else online, because you're going to be the one that's standing out. And it is no matter how many brands create the same offer as you, and no matter how many may trade a copy, brand reputation that you built will make them all irrelevant. We are all individuals. If we try to be somebody else, then we're not going to be able to find what makes us unique and be able to deliver that message clearly. And it's very much what I'm about, is how do you deliver that message really clearly? I've got a few questions coming up, which is fantastic. And if you can hold them to the end, I'll be able to answer them as we go. I'll go back through them or hit me up again at the end. It'd be fabulous. Love your comments though. This is a little bit about me. I started off as a car wash chick when I started working when I was 13 years old, just part-time. So I've had a lot of things that I have done over time, but have always been interested in work and achieving things and helping people. And even when it comes to car wash, shop assistant, window dresser. I was an aerobic instructor for 10 years. And again, that was teaching and helping people achieve the results that they want to achieve. This is my thing. It's where I love to sit, to be able to assist, and any people that have worked with me, and I'm sure how many are on tonight that have worked with me before will know this is exactly where I sit. Highest paid sales rep. When I stepped into a sales rep job, it started off basically with zero number of customers, and then had to build it, and was selling over $400,000 a year in Band-Aids. So it was first aid supplies, and building amazing relationships with all these companies. But it wasn't the companies. I was dealing with the relationships with the people at the businesses. When I became the GM of sales for that same company, I secured every single mining company for their first aid supplies in the Bowen Basin, and held most of the government contracts as well. I've had Speech Perfect since 2013. 2007, sorry. Stepped into that part of the business, working part-time and then full-time into it. At a podcast called We Are Women for the last 6 years. I've written a couple of books, and I've been speaking on international stages. Very, very brief review of what I have done, but I want to share that with you, because everything that has been part of how can I assist other people achieve the results they want, from the aerobic instructor through to my business. And some of the companies that I have had done work for and helped them get the results that they wanted. And I had a couple of articles. Kochie's Business Builders contacted me and asked me to write a couple of articles for them about sales. And that's particularly what my background is in sales. The books being Unstoppable and Good Girls Do Sell. As I said, for those that have just come on in the last couple of minutes, if you stay on till the end, you'll get a copy of one of my books. If you want to write down in the note which one you want to receive, if you haven't already got one, then let me know and pop the message in there as to which book is screaming out at you. And even for the men, the Good Girls Do Sell is, I've been told, there's a lot of value in it for men as well. Just a few reviews. This is such an important factor in when you are in business, that you get reviews, whether it's on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or on Google. More importantly, on Google, I find that it's important to have them also on LinkedIn, is to get really and ask for 5-star reviews. These ones are all different time frames from when I had them. There's a whole lot of new ones up there. When I just went and looked for some accommodation today, what did I do? I went through the reviews, and they weren't very good for one place. brilliant for another place. And that made the decision as to who I was going to work with. So asking for reviews is so important. For you to build your personal brand authority, I want you to think about these questions and answer them in your own time when we either get off here or another time. So what are your personal skills and strengths? This is important. What problems are you uniquely good at solving? I don't know whether anyone may have asked you that in the past. What's the biggest needs in the market or in your market that you deal with? What are your drivers and motivators? What gets you up every day and gets you interested in what you are doing? And what are your core values? When I work with clients, we start with those core values and it builds up as to finding something that is so important for somebody, you can't not do it. You have to be doing it every single day. But thinking about those 5 questions, they're probably the most important 5 questions that you would be asking yourself in business at any time. You get clear on those, and then you are able to really set yourself up, because that way you know what personal brand you want to build. I mean, we know brands, don't we? They pop up all the time. And as I mentioned earlier, some people I work with do branding for colors. And this is, I love this demonstration of the colors as what works for you and how does it sit with, you know, if you're a very creative person, then having those sort of purpley colors will resonate with you. But I'm not covering that. There's amazing graphic artists out there that will do brand style guides for you. I highly recommend that you get that done to find out what colors suit you if you haven't already done that. What we're going to cover. So this is what we're going to cover in the next 40 minutes. So it will be quick. There's a lot of content. And as I said, you are very welcome to take screenshots, but definitely take notes. So we're going to talk about the first one, how to be bold. The second one, how to be relevant. And I'll go into depth of all of these. How to be authentic, how to be noticed, and how to be driven. Actually changed up that, and it's determined. You'll see it through here, but they mean the same thing. That description of what is determined person, what is a driven person. All right, here we go.
Meal from Drake's for dinner.
Yeah.
Can I use your bundle?
Yeah.
How do we?
I'm not even hungry.
How do we be bold? I think I muted that one there. Okay, how do we be bold? There's some points. Apply good judgment. Oh, that's pretty simple, isn't it? Is this thing worthwhile doing, not worthwhile doing? Is it going to set me up that I can be bold doing it? Have the ability to inspire other people and energize other people by the things that you do. Recognize what needs to change. So it's things that you're not doing probably, when we're talking about being bold, things that you're not doing that you maybe should be doing to create that boldness. Openness to feedback from others, an important factor. Willingness to listen to others' ideas and opinions. Very open-minded, have a high standard of excellence. Ability to market and sell new ideas to others. How do you go with that? Can you get the hubby to mow the lawn? Guys, can you get your wife maybe to, you know, cook that really special meal for you? That's a bit chauvinist, both of those, aren't they? Clarity about the vision and strategic direction, level of boldness there. And spotting new trends and potential problems and opportunities. So how does that set you up? So anything pop up there that anyone had with that jumped out at you? Anything you're good at, anything that you are doing? How are you being bold in your business, in your everyday life? What are you doing that is helping you stand out? Thinking about that. Have a success mindset. Log your achievements. We're often so focused on the goal at the end that we forget to recognize our achievements along the way. Call out your imposter syndrome. We all have it, that little voice in the back of their head. No, I'm not good enough to do this and achieve this. I'm just a single business and there's other big businesses I'm competing with. Become a mentor. You find when you become a mentor, I'm a mentor for the Mentoring for Growth for the Queensland government, and I'm also in a not-for-profit organisation where I mentor as well. And when you mentor, you learn. You learn a lot from other people, other mentors, but you also learn a lot from the people that you're mentoring, and it helps you become a better person, a better coach. Always be open to learning, mind open, accept compliments. 2 words when somebody compliments you: thank you and a smile. We're so often trying to negate those compliments, and that's disappointing for the person who gives it. Feel it till you make it. Don't fake it till you make it. You can't fake stuff, but just feel it till you make it. Ask why. Be curious. Curiosity in life and in business is one of the things that will set you apart from others who are just prepared to do the same things over and over again. Look after yourself. Be kind and generous. Be prepared with anything you're doing. You've got the opportunity to do a presentation. What if you turn up and the presenter's not there and someone says, who will present? And you'll put your hand up. And if you have prepared something that you just always have ready to go, you know your stuff, you know how to present, then you definitely will be the one that's in the front of the room and people notice. You'll stand out. Visualize your success. There's a whole lot of activities that you can do. And when I work with people, we do those activities for how to visualize your success. And make decisions quickly and take action. One of the things that I learned when I was in the GM role was the quicker I made decisions, the quicker things happened and the better the results. If we procrastinate around decisions and hum and ha, then we often miss out on opportunities. And that's such an important factor. So to make decisions quickly and take action. Got a quote at the end of each one of these. So whenever you see a successful business, someone has made a courageous decision. And I read something many, many years ago, and it was talking about people in business. And they said the more decisions people make and the quicker that they make them, the more they get paid. And I thought that was a really interesting point. So what is one thing that you can do tomorrow to be bold? Think about it now. If you're happy to share that, please share that in the conversation. What's one thing that you can do tomorrow out of those things that we looked at to be bold? Okay, being relevant. What does that mean? Well, the meaning of relevance is a state of being closely connected and appropriate to the matter at hand. Thus, to be relevant, it's important, and it implies a little bit more than that. Trivial things, appointments, events, accidents that intrude themselves into life can sometimes become important, so at least for that time. But to be relevant, an actionable person must be connected to a grander plan. So rather than, the ultimate thing. So what do you want and what do you want to achieve? And how can you be relevant to your audience? Again, if you're presenting, what is the relevance to that audience? So ways to be more personally relevant, be more authentic. What does that mean? Be more real. So authenticity is that foundation of relevance. Knowing who you truly are and where you're coming from and what you're offering people. And that's the beauty. Once you get really clear on knowing those true values within yourself and what's important, then you'll stay on track and you will definitely appear more authentic, more real to other people because you're living your truth. Achieve more mastery. We often look at our weaknesses and think we have to work on those. And there's certain things within our life and business that we do need to have an understanding on, but really focus on the things that you are good at, or get good at it. If there's things that you need to learn how to do better, then definitely there's no better investment than investing in yourself. Be more empathetic, that just be more compassionate to other people and caring, and you look outside yourself and you become, again, more real, and there's a lot less focus on stuff maybe that's going wrong in your life. And then take action. You're going to hear this take action a lot throughout this, because to build anything within yourself or within business, you need to act. And that's going to make it a lot more relevant to others. So for you personally, but what can you do in business to be more relevant? You can spend time where your buyers spend time. So where do your buyers spend time? Where do your buyers spend time? Are they at networking events? Are they at conferences? Are they at trade shows? Are they online? Where do your buyers spend time? Visit trade shows if that's where your buyers are. I was talking to somebody who is not on tonight but is getting the replay, and they're at a trade show for the three days in Brisbane, and that's exactly where their buyers were. They promoted the trade show, and that's why they were there investing in it. Concentrate on great communication. So how can you communicate really effectively and get your message across and get clear at it? Join your buyers according to the way that they want to connect. And this can mean a couple of different things. It might be how they want to connect. Yes, we want a phone call, we want an email, but it can also mean, and this is one of the topics I love teaching, is are they auditory, kinesthetic, visual, or auditory digital? Do we need to show them pictures? Do we need to talk to them about it? Do they need to help them understand or get a feel for it? And when you know how to discover what individuals need and how to communicate individually with possibly an auditory person, which is quite different than a visual person. Engage with clients. Again, hop on the phone. It's probably one of the best ways to do that, to engage people, is to make a phone call. Develop high quality content rather than having well, you can still have a lot of it going out, but make sure that it's relevant. It's of value to your clients. Stay social, whether that means turning up at networking events face to face, or that means staying social online. But people need to get to know you. Remember that first part, they need to know you, so they need to see you. You need to invest in your development and remain updated. It's one of those things all the way through my career. That's something that I've always done. I get started the year and go, what do I want to learn this year? What do I want to get good at? And then I would go and invest in that, learning how to do that. And specialize in your niche. You can spend a lot of time spreading around looking for other people, but we really want to be able to stay within our niche. Have knowledge of current industry and be opening to new trends. A whole lot of things have changed over the last couple of years. There's a whole lot of new businesses. Plastic screens. Who would have thought they would need plastic screens? Figuring out what's new and just be adaptable. One of the local bakeries was in 2020 was making the bread part, and then you'd go home and bake it. It was rather than bakery, and a lot of people were doing that. So just being adaptable to situations and build some alliances across different businesses. But again, I told you there's going to be a lot of content. There's a lot of dot points on every one of these screens. Again, you can take photos of it and however you want to remember that content. Or if you love writing them down, write it down. And this quote by George Neller is today is important. It's important to be present, be relevant, and add value. I think more than ever, people are looking to deal with people. And how they find you is one thing. How they get to know, like, and trust you. And that's what I really want to help people do, is that get noticed first, get known, and then from there get results. People want to buy from you. You have to stand out somehow. So what is one thing that you can do tomorrow to be relevant? So there's a couple of people putting notes in and typing madly, which is fantastic. And I'd love some others to add some content. So what's one thing that you can do, just a little thing tomorrow that might just be a little bit more relevant? Be authentic. What does that mean? There's strategies to develop authenticity. Embrace your strengths. I've mentioned this more than once. Focus on the things that you're really good at. If you love being with people, then be with people. And if you're good at communicating, then do exactly that. Explore what you value most. Have you noticed that the word value has popped up more than one time here? It's so important to figure out what is of high value to you. Develop courage to face your fears. Stuff holds us back. That's a technical term, stuff. It holds us back from getting the results and having the life and the business, the dreams that we want to achieve when we're fearful. If we learn a way to break through those fears and just step up anyway, it means that it's totally a different expansion. Neale Donald Walsch quote that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Be impeccable in your word. But say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't take things personally. 99% of the time, I can guarantee it's not about you at all. It's about where that person is at that particular time. So it's not about you. So don't take anything personally. Just take it as whatever's happening. I had one of my clients, she delivered this amazing presentation. She thought that she was doing really well until the guy in the front row fell asleep and a little bit of snore going on as well. He was one of the leading managers that she designed the course for. And when she'd finished, he sort of woke up and came up to her and said, "Oh, Karen, I am so sorry. I've got a brand new baby in the house. I could not stay awake. And I really do apologize. I loved what you had to say. I want you to come and present that to my whole team. And I do apologize." So if she had taken it personally, and, you know, she did actually, she felt bad, you know, this guy in the front row snoring, but then she realized it wasn't her story, it was his story. And that's often what it is. People come into your life with a little bit of a baggage along with them. So you don't know what's going on. So just don't take things personally. Accept that you can't please everyone. Absolutely. Some people are going to be your perfect connection and others not so much. Learn to say no. I'm always talking to people about saying yes, and in the Be Bold, it would normally say yes. But say no sometimes too, when it's not a value, it's not something that's going to work for you, and it may be something that's taking your time away from doing something that is really important. If it's something you want to do, then have fun with it and say yes. Always do your best. I am definitely not a perfectionist. Have we had a little glitch here tonight? Yes, we have. And I had a house cleaned and worked on a laptop and all that sort of thing, and then came and did the wrong presentation on here. But you just do your best and just accept it. If things go wrong, they just go wrong, and you correct it and move on. And practice mindfulness. I worked with somebody today and we talked about the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and just being in the space, because she was, you know, going everywhere with ideas, and just bring it back to the space and where you are moving forward. And before I move on, I want to have a look what everyone's written. Stay social. I'll call network connection and putting off. Calling because of imposter syndrome. Well done. Congratulations, Lisa. Stay social. Action cures fear. Develop high quality content. Do not try to please everyone. Well done, Kelby. That's a biggie. Always remember what's in it for me. Yeah, me as the client. I love that one, Jill. That's WIIFM. Other than your radio station, that's the second best radio station in town, is what's in it for me. Okay, all right, so I've got that. So the privilege of a lifetime to become who you truly are. Wow, that's by Carl Jung. Isn't that a great quote? The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And for those that have been on earth a little bit longer than some of the others, you know, we recognize, I think, that that's just sometimes just be yourself and don't try and accommodate other people. So what are you going to do? What's the one thing you're going to do tomorrow to be authentic, or to be more authentic, be more real? I'd love to see your messages and quotes from all that. There was a big list there. So add those ones in. Be noticed. Isn't that a great picture? I love it. Okay. Some of you have, a couple of you on here have seen me present this live recently, and you may recognize some of the names live. I am live now. I presented it in person in a room, okay, meaning the difference. Have you heard of Alfred Russel Wallace? Yes, no? Have you heard of Lewis Latimer? What about Philo Farnsworth? Or Nils Bohlin? Anyone know any of those people at all? Well, Nils Bohlin, he developed, nobody's popped in there that they know him, he developed the seatbelt. Very famous. I mean, how many people around the world has that saved? Philo Farnsworth, Well, you see this photo of this TV here. We thought it was Logie Baird, didn't we, that invented the TV? But no, it was Philo Farnsworth. He just wasn't as good at promoting himself as well as Logie Baird. And the other two, Alfred Wallace. Still no one recognizing him at all. Do you recognize that fella? Charles Darwin. Well, what happened was that Alfred Wallace started to write a whole lot of papers about natural selection and evolution. He sent them off to Charles Darwin to say, what do you think about these? And Charles Darwin said, I think they're pretty good. And what he did, he then wrote a book about it. And he then went on a speaking gig thing all around the place. So we have Darwinism, we don't have Wallaceism. He was able to promote himself and able to stand out. Even in those days, it made a lot of difference. So we've got Lewis Latimer. Still no takers on Lewis Latimer? I think Lisa might have seen this the other day, but I remember who he was. What about this guy? Thomas Edison. We know Thomas Edison, don't we? We heard that he took 1,000 goes at getting the light bulb to work. Well, Lewis Latimer did not have to take 1,000 times to get the light bulb to work. He had a filament that worked for hours, but the person that was good at standing out, getting noticed, promoting themselves, going where they knew they would have that impact was the one that got the attention. So that's why it's so important to get noticed, because you just may end up being like Lewis Latimer and not being known for anything quite famous. Actually, Lewis Latimer invented quite a whole lot of things. He was a phenomenal inventor. But one of the things was the light bulb. He helped Graham Bell with the telephone too. But of course, being a black man in an era that didn't encourage that sort of promotion of self, then other people claimed the fame. We don't want that to happen to you. So how can you get noticed? Well, know the basics of marketing. You don't have to be a marketing guru, but you need to know the basics and understand how to craft a message, how to let people know what's in it for them, and then how to get that message out on whatever platform that you are using, and have to go where your market is. If you are Facebook and Instagram, depending on your product, they're good places just to be seen. They're not the best places to sell things unless your product lends itself for that. So people spend a lot of time and a lot of money on those platforms, and it's not where their market is. So that's the important thing. Spend the time on the right social media. Set up your social media to your best advantage. I have all mine scheduled. It is scheduled out to the rest of the year, and it just automatically goes out. I then post things daily, but it takes up if you chunk your time and get it all done in one go, then you're not wasting and spending a lot of time, because I can guarantee that if you get onto social media, you then might spend a bit more time there than you thought you were going to do that. Does anyone else do that? That they spend extra time when they go and do some postings, and all of a sudden it's half an hour later. Network, whatever that looks for you. If you have got a lot of content, start a podcast or a blog. I helped a naturopath and kinesiologist start a podcast this year because she had a lot of information that she wanted to get out, and it was being shut down on other media. So she started her own podcast. Email marketing. If you're anyone doing any of these, what do you do out of all of these things? Collaborate with others. Seek out media attention. Is there something that's happened? I know there's been a whole lot of business awards going off at the moment. So, if you're winning those awards, make sure that you get some media attention on it. Encourage reviews. I talked about reviews before. They are so important to get done. Ask for referrals, ask for connections, ask for introductions, and people to, again, expand your network. Optimize your SEO. And if that's not something that you're good at all, then outsource that. Business cards, banners, posters, A lot of people are going to electronic business cards at the moment. I was at an event the other day. It was a speed networking, and the people who had the electronic business cards on their phone didn't even get through the networking section before they couldn't they couldn't hand over their business card to anyone, and they were trying to explain what they do, and they lost their time. And a business card is the first gift you give somebody. They're still a good idea. It's maybe printing the cards not great for the environment, or just being selective as to where you hand them out, but they still are a really important way to give somebody something of yourself. Have professional photos taken. When I help people with their LinkedIn profiles, that's one of the things that we make sure gets done properly, is how to set your photos up, and which way to be looking, how to make sure the background's okay. But definitely get professional photos done, and just be seen everywhere if that's everywhere that your audience is. So that's some good ideas to notice. How can you do all of it? Suzanne, well done. Anyone else? How else do you get noticed? What things do you do? Pop some things in the chat and let me know what things that you currently do and what things you might think you might do. So you might just do a M for might do and create some of those things and get a little bit more noticed. Timing, perseverance, and 10 years of trying will eventually make you look like an overnight success. If you are reading, I read something today about this, it was a marketing ad thing, and it was saying, promise in 6 days you can have all your problems solved, and you'll have them solved forever. That's what they were saying. I'm sitting on the beach working 3 hours a day and making $1 million a year. And we look at that and then have this expectation, and then those people will try and sell you $10,000 programs because they've created it all. Well, they've created it selling the programs, not actually doing the work or having the business that's got them there. It takes time, but once you've got things set up and you know how to do it right, you'll save a lot of time. You'll be able to build a lifestyle, which is what we want to be able to do. Well, so what are you going to do? What's the one thing that you're going to do to get noticed that you aren't doing at the moment? Well done, Peter. All of that. Yay. What's the one thing that you can do tomorrow that's going to get you noticed? Something that you're not doing. You're thinking, I don't want to use the word should, because we should all over ourselves, but something that you've been thinking for a while, I want to be doing that you can do. All right, be determined. How to be goal orientated. Some of us are really good at goals, focus, stay on track, get things done. Others of us have really good intentions about doing that. Who's good at intentions and sort of think, I'm going to do this. This is what I need to do. Podcast again. Good on you, Linda. That's great. And who is good at setting goals? So those intentions. That's what I mean to get done. First is start planning. We've hit the 11th month of this year. Has anyone set up their plans for next year? Actually put those plans in place, or set up their diary or their calendar, or at least for the first 6 months or part of it for the year. One of the things that I have always done, and I've had the opportunity to travel widely across the world, about 30 different countries, and across the US a fair bit. I can sort of count every one of those states as a different country as well. It feels like it when you go into in the States. And so I've had the opportunity to do that. But the way I've had the opportunity to do it is because I put down my calendar. I've already completed the 2023 calendar. First thing I put in are all my holidays. That's my priority. It's high on my value system. Adventure and new things are one of my have-tos. I can't not do it. So of course I put in my holidays, and I make sure I take them and you get them done. But depending on where you are in your life program with children and schools and things, that's not necessarily what your top value is at the moment. But planning your life around your top values and your business around your top values means when you get up to do business each day, you will be able to stay on track because things are planned. And get organized. If your office is a mess, then get it organized. If there's things going on in your life that are a mess, then get organized. and clear the clutter from your mind, clear the clutter from your house, from your desk, wherever it needs to be cleared. You can't work in clutter, so get organized. Believe that you can achieve it. That just affirm that whatever those goals are, there's a formula that I'll show you in a moment that I write goals to, and just believe you can achieve it. Understand your strengths and weaknesses. That's come up a few times, isn't it? We don't have to focus on them, but we do have to know what they are, and particularly what we're good at. Make decisions. Well, that's come up a couple of times too. If we're goal oriented, we need to be able to make decisions and make them quickly. Now, sometimes they won't be the right decision, or they could have been a better one, but at least we made a decision. And the act of not making a decision is making a decision to do nothing. And when you're thinking, oh, I won't make a decision in case something else comes along, then it's actually a decision. Where are we up to? Set priorities. What's the most important things in your life? I talked about that. Manage your time well and focus on again, what's important. And if you enjoy family and friends and their priorities, well, set aside time for it. Analyze your progress. So check on how you're going and then adapt to how am I going with my goals. And one of the things I haven't written down here is the 90-day plan. That's one of the things I always set with my clients. We work through every 90 days. We change up our tasks to achieve. And by the time we get through 4 of those at the end of the year and goals are achieved, and take action. There's no use having the best written goals that you'll ever have without taking action. If you're not writing your goals down, they're just dreams. We want to be able to write our goals down, and to be able to have them, the intensity of them actually being achieved. How to get started and stay motivated. So check on your goals. How are you going? I mean, pat yourself on the back and say, well done, and write new ones. If something else comes along that becomes a priority, then write new goals. Don't be so rigid. You have to stay in line. You want to be adaptable. Keep momentum up, keep moving forward. It's easy sometimes if we just sort of thinking, oh, I just want to sit and have a Netflix day. Then it's really hard to get that momentum going again, isn't it? Create good habits. What's the name of the book? The Atomic Habits. If you haven't read that, then I would highly recommend reading that book. Find great mentors. Throughout the success I've had in my career, building that into that GM role, was having great mentors and having great coaches. And I continue to do the same. I'm always looking for people who can mentor me and coach me. The thing is, each time I do that, they end up costing more because I'm looking for more at the level I'm sitting at now. But it's certainly worth it because it's payback for what I learn, and what I can achieve and the income I can bring in. Oh, there we are. Find a coach who can take you to the next level. That's such an important factor in everything you're doing. And surround yourself with positive people. It is much more fun being around positive people than it is being around people who are negative. And use exercise as one of your daily goals. So whatever that looks like for you, move the body somehow. I know sometimes we get so busy that you run out of time, but even if it's just 30 minutes to move the body, it's such an important, we want to be able to be healthy and well as long as we possibly can be, and moving the body is great. I told you I'd have a formula for goals. You probably have done SMART goals before. Those that have been on any of my webinars will know that I have create goals instead. So the C is for very clear and concise. You want to be very specific about what you want. And because we're putting this out there to the universe or whatever, wherever you put that. And I want to do better, I want a bigger business, is not very clear and concise. Bigger could be earning $1 more than you've earned previous year. It'd be very, very clear and concise. But all your goals, not just your business ones, write them in this formula. Make it realistic. If you don't swim, swimming the English Channel in 12 months' time might be not quite that realistic. Is it ecological? This is where it's a little bit different than the SMART goals. Meaning, is it good for the environment? Is it good for the people in your life? Is it good for you? If you want to, your clear goal is to increase sales to over $1 million a year in your business, that may not be that realistic. And if you tried to do it, how many hours would you need to put into your business, and how would that affect everybody else? Being ecological about it. When you write the goals, write them as now. You would write the goal if we're looking for, say, the 31st of December 2023, we would write the goal, it is now December 31, 2023, and I have, and that's where your goal would be very clear. And we want it towards what we want, not, so if it's about losing weight, we don't want to lose weight, we want to weigh a certain amount. We want to achieve something certain. So we're going towards what we want. And what evidence, this is a really cool part about the goals, what evidence do you have that you have achieved your goal? I know when I was doing the travel all the time, for me, I would always do the screensaver for the year of where I wanted to travel to. So whether it was Turkey or Norway or wherever it was, that would be my screensaver for that until I booked the ticket. All I had to do was book and pay for the ticket, and then I would change the screensaver for the next holiday. Some people might, the evidence they might have needed was to get the ticket in their hand, or it might be getting on the plane, or if it was a travel one. So what evidence do you need? Do you need to look at your bank account? Do you need your accountant to go, whoa, that's awesome? What evidence do you need that you've achieved your goal? So writing your goal, and let's do the $1 million one. It is now the 31st of December 2023, and I have sold $1 million worth of product this year. I know this because I have just spent $200,000 on a brand new car. Whatever it is, what evidence do you need? All right, the best investment you can make is an investment in yourself. Absolutely. The more you learn, the more you earn. And that's Warren Buffett. And I think you might know what he's talking about. Without fail, that is, it's absolutely your best investment. And I know a lot of people on here have done that. They've invested in achieving the goals to get where they are today. And it's the thing is what's taking you to the next level. So what's the one thing that you can do tomorrow to be more determined? What's that one step that you can do? We looked at how you could be bold. We looked at be relevant, be authentic, be noticed, and be determined. So that's what we did. I want to talk to you now. That's what I said. I didn't say this at the beginning. I will be talking about a program that I've got starting on February 4th. If there's anything that you like that you've seen that working with me might be an option, then I just want to run through it. And remember, I will pop on. Don't pop names in the chat, because I'll save the chat, because just so I know who's on and who I'm sending the books to at the end of this. It's a 12-week branding program. It doesn't start until next year. I'm currently running one of the 12-week programs at the moment. We're in about week 7 of that. And what it is 5 fortnightly personalized coaching sessions. So we get together and we work through the training modules on each of these different things. We have an hour and a half training on once a fortnight. And in the program, so you get those 5 fortnightly personalized programs. I'll go back to them because I just want to have a look. So we talk about how you accelerate your potential. I talked about values, such an important factor. How to express your why and how. So how do you get that message across? The speak up and step out is all about how you deliver your message as a presenter. Inspire to buy, how you sell. How do you put together a sales package for yourself, and how then you can design your destiny so you can achieve the results that you want. So here's what you get. You have 5 fortnightly personalized coaching sessions. As I said, you get the full workbooks and the planning templates as we go through. So you don't have to create things. They're already absolutely done, and the workbooks is a question thing you work through. I have to tell you, when you're working through them, you will get uncomfortable, and that is the intention of it, because you want to dig deeper than what you've ever done before, and that's what we do. And you also receive a 1-day sales pitching masterclass. So this is something that I run 3 times a year, and you get to attend that for free as part of the program. You can attend any of this stuff either online or in person. And if you're in Southeast Queensland or come into Southeast Queensland, then definitely come in person. If not, all achievable online. And you get 3 months subscription to the We Are Success program. All of that is valued at $4,071. Now, that is the basic part of the program. But so what we do in the program, it's going to help you really develop your story, your why, your how, and what you do. Once you've got this, it becomes your pitch. It becomes everything you do becomes very, very clear, and you can articulate it very well. And what that means is whether it's on a LinkedIn profile, whether it's standing in front of an audience or pitching to a business or in a sales conversation, people understand how you solve their problems by what you do and how you do it. I am a professional speaker training as well. You can't judge that tonight. That provide you with the tools and techniques and the language to position yourself as a leader. And for those that worked with me that are here online know that I'm really good at helping you get the right words. So you go, oh my gosh, that is so clear. The clients that work with me all the time now know that as soon as I start talking about somebody's business, they'll record, and that way they get it first go. Part of that speaking training is that you will receive the professional speaking training, and that is done through the modules, plus something coming up as well. Help eliminate busyness. I'm talking to people all the time, and they say they're so busy. There's so many strategies and I know not everyone loves doing systems. It's like, oh no, I don't want to. But once you've got them in place, it's amazing at the results that you can get. We just want free time. I assist people with their LinkedIn profile, how you can have people coming to you and how they can see exactly what you do, and you definitely stand out. And the other thing is just that level of confidence and self-belief. Once you've done all this, and this is what the clients going through the program at the moment are saying, they came on to do all of the other stuff, but they just can't believe how they're just doing things that they would never believe that they could possibly have done before. And that's a really cool part of that for me. Some other people that have worked with me doing different types of training, which all involved in this particular program, helping Jane and Ray reach their sales targets, and got a trip to Vegas. With Ryan, it was presenting, and with Wendy, it was just getting her feeling that confidence and that learning about herself and about other people. And if you've already made up your mind, which I'm going to show you some bonuses, because there's always bonuses. And bonus number 1 is a goal setting and planning workshop. So we get together for half a day and we set out our plans for the next year. I've got clients that have been turning up for this planning workshop for about 5 years in a row now. And they then know that they receive the results at the end of the year. They turn up again to the next one, the results happen because everything's set in place. This is the biggie. You get to attend a 1-day professional speaking masterclass with me. And people I've got people coming, there's one on November 18 that a lot of people in this program are going to, and there's the next one start next year, and there's in March. I've got people that just paid for that, and they're paying $650 to come along and do just the speaking masterclass. And you get a hard copy of one of the books as well. So if you add, what you get is you get the personalized coaching, you get the workbook templates, you get the 1-day sales masterclass, and the subscription to the mentoring program. You get the goal setting workshop as well, 1-day professional speaking masterclass, and you receive a hard copy of the book. And all of that now adds up to $5,150. So all of that together, you go onto my website, you can see that there's that and some bonuses I add in there as well. All right, you know you're not going to pay that much, and because this is what the whole idea of webinars are, you get people, I honor that people have come on and that they have listened to me. Hopefully you've taken away a ton of content that you can apply and that you've invested your time in me. So I want to give you some special offers. Can you build your personal brand authority another way? Of course you can. You can spend years learning this information. I have, but I've worked with some of the best coaches in the world to help me do that. And I've been in business for 40 years. And I've got a ton of material that I'm able to share with people just to really help them succeed in the business of what they want to achieve. And you can, there's plenty of other people doing this type of things, but I've done some research, And it's, you know, $1,600 a month is cheap for some of the coaching. And I know people pay big money for coaching without getting the same results. I've seen it time and time again. I've sat next to people that have gone, you've given me more information in the last 5 minutes than I paid my coach for the last 5 months. So there are other ways to do it, but I truly, I don't believe that there's any comparison, not particularly at the price I'm going to offer you. So why am I going to give you this offer? Your success is my success. I'm in business now to help people. I'm in business to earn money as well, of course. But I've got to the stage where I really want to just make sure other people have the results they want and have the life they want. And then they go tell people about me. That's really all it's about. Oh, Benjamin Harvey, I've done a training with Ben over the years, and he's one of Australia's great coaches. And he's saying everything in life has an ultimate strategy. You've got to have a strategy. You can't be jumping around from one to the other and trying to figure out where your place is. It's got to have that strategy to move forward. So 5,000, this is offer $5,150 in value. If you join the program, it is $1,597 for the whole lot. All of those, and I'll put the link in the chat room. And there's a couple of different things on the link. There's a payment plan, and there's the one that's the price that includes the GST, if that's what you choose. If you want to put the email in there, you can do it privately if you like. If you want me to email invoices and do this differently, or a different sort of payment plan, I'm really happy. I'm very, very flexible with things. We've got ages to pay things off, and I really am comfortable with doing that. As I said, I want you to have the results. So I'd rather you find a way to do it and achieve those results, rather than, you know, thinking I'd love to do it and love to have this, but I can't afford it. So talk to me about it, and I will talk to everyone as well about it. So that's the offer. Let me just remind you what everything is. 30-day risk-free trial. If you join, then no penalty. Let's go, okay, here's your money back. No problem whatsoever. The mega bonus. This is the masterclass to put your presentation together. So we figure out what you're going to present. We do it as a PowerPoint, but we put your presentation together and formulate it in a way that you can deliver it from stage, you can deliver it on a webinar, whatever works for you, however you want to craft your presentation. And it is a really, really powerful session. And that, again, is valued over $600. And we have a marketing content planning workshop. We get together and figure out what content you can use for your marketing, for your social media posts, how to plan that out. And that way it's going to save you a ton of time thinking about what you're going to do. And that's valued altogether at $875. So that is yours. The only people that can get this mega bonus are the people that are on here tonight. No one else can. It is just for you. So there's people that have stayed on now, then that's what is available for you. Okay, just looking. Okay, cool. And yeah, going to that link or emailing me. And I will get in touch tomorrow, but I only have spots for 10 people on that program. I already have 4 booked in for next year. That means there's only 6 spots left available. Because it's so much of my time and there's so much of me involved, then I can only offer it for 6 more people. So again, what we're getting here is the fortnightly personalized coaching programs, the workbooks and templates, all of that, which is going to save you so much time having that. 1-day sales pitching masterclass, 3-month subscription to the We Are Success mentoring program, the goal setting and planning workshop, the 1-day professional speakers masterclass, a copy of Being Unstoppable, and the super duper other presentation workshop, and the marketing content. You can see it's crazy amount of value and content. It is really unreal. So it's $6,000 worth of content, and you get to work with me in person for all of it. it's not somebody else doing it. It's me. You won't get tired of me. You might get, when I challenge you on things, you might go be challenged, but you won't get tired of me, I promise. So that is $15.97. It says for the next 15 minutes, but for everyone who has stayed on the thing, then the offer is however you want to deal with it. For those that most of the people I got to know that are on here too, I just want you to be successful at what you're doing. And I know this will help you stand out and build your personal brand authority so you can stand out, you can get clear in your message. So any questions that we have now? I know there were some questions popped up in the chat. We go that link, it includes the GST on it. Remember to apply what you've learned in this webinar, and thank you for watching. If you want more information on how you can participate in the 12-week program or anything on offer, go to JanineVosper.com. I look forward to working with you in the future.